Welcome to We're Not Really Here, full-time at Vicarage Road, Watford 0, Manchester City 4. Joining me to talk about the game and what we've just watched is none other than Natalie and, of course, Caroline Weir and Jill Scott. Jill, we shall begin with you. A very accomplished and confident second half there and saw the game out.
Yeah, I think they just carried on from the first half, really, kept control and then added another couple of goals. So I thought it was a very good performance. They always seemed in control from the first minute to the 90th. But yeah, some good goals as well.
And Caroline, you know, Watford are still having to fight for their survival in the Premier League, still need that all-important point, but we more or less nullified their threat, and actually it was a very kind of possession-based game for us again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really convincing performance. We looked in control from minute one, I think, and Watford didn't really cause us too many issues. So, yeah, we scored some good goals and, yeah, like I say, a convincing win.
Let's talk about the goals then. So actually, I wanted to begin with a moment in the first half that happened quite quickly. I mean, the start of that second half, City were out the blocks, almost scored within the first 30 seconds. But there was a moment that was a big handball, and we watched it back a little bit here in the studio, and the general consensus seems to be probably should have been a handball. Caroline, I know we were talking about it.
Yeah, well, we thought it was a handball.
Yep.
Jill wasn't so sure.
Well, I think it was a handball, but I just thought from the referee's angle, maybe he thought it was too close for him to react, but I think he did definitely move his hand.
It's one of them, because then you ask the question as well, like, and we don't get into this chat, but there were VAR checks, of course, for other goals. You wonder what kind of means, do we check that moment and not check that? But I know you spent time before the season with the VAR team, Natalie, so...
Yeah, we had a VAR chat at the start of the season just so we were really super clear on it. And VAR, and I always repeat it, and I think people get sick of me on City Square, but VAR checks everything is what they tell you. VAR checks everything. So VAR will have checked that and decided that it wasn't such a clear and obvious error that the referee made that the VAR needed to tell the referee. So it's still very confusing because he certainly touched his hand, and of course you have the argument about that natural body position and was it an unnatural position, but I guess if you're a defender in the box and your hand is up here, to me that would always be unnatural where his hand was kind of spread. I think the rule's really confusing because if it's the other way round and an attacker hits the ball with the hand, well, even if they score, it's going to be disallowed immediately. So I think as always with VAR, I don't like VAR. I end up being some sort of defender of it by accident. I don't like VAR, but I think sometimes it's the laws of the game that are the problem.
We'll move away from VAR. It's always safest and best to do so, because the goal wasn't too far behind that. Of course, Phil Foden with the goal, but it kind of all came from that man, Kevin De Bruyne, Jill.
Yeah, I think it was his through ball to Sterling and then Sterling shot, but I'm going to big Foden up. His reaction's always ready to pounce. Yeah, and I love to see him play, and even better when he scores.
Well, there is something in that, isn't there? Because, I mean, it's quite a few of his goals have been those tap-ins, but they've happened almost too many times for it to be coincidence. There is obviously positioning and also kind of reading the game that gets you there to be in those positions to score, Jill.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've got to be in the right place at the right time, but he's always looking for them pockets of space, and I think when I watch Aguero play a lot of the time, he's always thinking, what if? And I think Foden's got that in his game as well. He's thinking, what if this spills or the keeper spills it or takes a deflection? And yeah, I definitely don't think it's a coincidence.
Well, it did come from that Raheem Sterling shot. He just couldn't quite get his hat-trick, but we can hear what he has to say after the full-time whistle.
Raheem, well done. You look like you were all playing with a point to prove tonight, were you?
Yeah, you know, after a disappointing game at Wembley, you know, we had to find some sort of rhythm today and try to finish the last two games strongly.
Talking of finishing, that was great technique on the first goal. Did the way your first touch, did it really set it up nicely for you?
Yeah, I think a dodgy pass from Kyle and I had to overstretch, and I think it bounced perfectly for me to hit it. So yeah.
You should say a dodgy pass, it was an assist, surely.
No, it's an assist. We take those, just a little bit of banter with him.
Now, Kevin De Bruyne has been taking the penalties usually of late, so how come you step up with this one?
You know, I scored the first one, I knew I was on 18. I knew if I got a second one and I was on the pitch for 90, I knew I had another chance of getting a hat-trick. So I wanted to, you know, try and get a hat-trick today, but it didn't happen. But, you know, we're really happy with the two goals.
Well, you are on 19, which is your best ever haul in a Premier League season so far. How much of a milestone for you personally would 20 be now?
Yeah, it's massive, you know, as a winger to score 20 in the Premier League is a great achievement, but you know we have one more game left, and hopefully I can do it then.
You do have one more game left. The bigger picture, of course, is the Champions League. But a performance like tonight, a result like tonight, how much does that help you prepare for the bigger challenges coming up?
Yeah, it's the more games we have. Before that, we've only got one now. We've got to really take all we can from these games, because Madrid's going to be a massive game. They're going to they finished the season brilliantly. They've won the league, and we know it's going to be a strong test because they're a great team.
Enjoy your couple of days off in the meantime. Well done tonight.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers, Carlos. Thank you.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling with 2 goals tonight, taking it to 19 in the Premier League, 29 in all competitions, and 98 goals for City. So very soon, hopefully, we're going to be seeing another one of those amazing 100-goal videos that City TV produce. Fingers crossed, Raheem. Raheem's also on 19 goals in the Premier League, the same as Mohamed Salah at Liverpool.
Love
and
that.
just right. And just one.
Love salad. Great player.
Mohamed Salah at Liverpool, and also one behind Aubameyang at Arsenal as well. And of course, Jamie Vardy's still at the top of the Golden Boot table there with 23. But we've been getting all your messages coming through on Twitter and on our social medias, and we absolutely love them. The first one coming through from Martin Somerville, who says Phil Foden is quality. Now, I like this comment. I'd like to see what you guys think about this, Jill. He's calling him a wafer-thin Gaza. Like, it's a different,
That's big shoes to fill, isn't it?
it's a different comparison. Stats City, who always pull off some incredible stats, we know I love stats, have said 200 tonight's appearances versus Watford. Tonight's appearance, let me read this properly. Tonight's appearance versus Watford is Sterling's 200th start for Man City in all competitions. Impressive. And then Statman Davis said João Cancelo's first half versus Watford by numbers. Now, Kel, you loved him today, so you're going to love these stats. 100% pass accuracy, 15 final third passes, 5 ball recoveries, and 4 out of 4 tackles won. Slotted comfortably into that left-back position. Coolers Company, Rob Hines, has sent a wonderful picture. Now, I know, Rob, that is Finley holding that shirt. He's got his 47 Foden shirt up there. Love that picture. And then Lisa Hartley has said Laport, lightning goal. Yes, Laporte's first goal of the season. And then we've got another brilliant one here of the picture of Kevin De Bruyne holding his chest, 19 assists. So yeah, that puts Kevin De Bruyne at 1 assist behind Henry's 20 record. So fingers crossed we get Kevin De Bruyne start in the final game of the season and a couple of assists. And we just got loads and loads more tweets coming through. Lots of brilliant stats. You know I love your stats, so keep sending them in. And also, I want to see where are you watching the game tonight? Where have you been watching? Send us your pictures. Use the hashtag WRNH.
I'm sure there were so many puns for Mohamed Salah, but I just couldn't come up with them quick enough, and I love a pun. We'll get to that Laporte goal in a second, but let's just speak about the man who we saw in the interview there, Raheem Sterling. I mean, his season by numbers is incredible, and of course, we'll all remember before the season started, there was a lot of chat about his conversion rate and kind of, can he be doing more on the pitch in front of goal? Caroline, he's kind of taken those critics and absolutely kind of blown them out of the water. How hard will he have had to have worked to have been able to produce those sort of numbers as a winger?
Yeah, massively. Like you said, is it 20 goals this season as a winger? That's really impressive. So it shows that, yeah, he has come on again this season. I think each season he's been here, he has improved and has shown, people wrong and continues to do so. So yeah, I think he should obviously be proud of that stat, and it's very impressive.
With the finishing, so I mean, obviously there will have been a lot of training that goes into it in the training ground, but again, is also half of it almost just the confidence thing, and actually once you've kind of got those few, then the other ones kind of flow quite naturally.
Yeah, definitely. I think momentum's a huge thing as a forward player. Once you start scoring, I think it's hard to stop. So yeah, I think that plays a huge part. I think as well, playing alongside the likes of Silva and De Bruyne, that probably helps. But yeah, confidence is huge, and you can see when he's playing well, he's fully confident. So yeah, it's been good to see. It's
been amazing, and actually, like I say, he's nearly at 30 goals, which I think we were looking at it the other day. I think Messi's around scored 30 goals this season, and if you remember, he had that 3-month spell where he actually didn't score for a little bit. So when you look towards next season, Joe, you actually think them numbers are amazing, but he can probably do even better, which is mad to say, really.
Yeah, I think when you touched on people saying he needs to convert more, it's amazing how much he's added that to his game. So yeah, I'm excited for next season. I think he just keeps getting better and better. He's kind of becoming the full product really in that sense. So yeah, I think he'll keep smashing them numbers.
It was nice as well to hear, actually, because I asked you at the start, about if you think about those kind of little challenges or those little objectives you've maybe got coming up, that he was aware that he kind of was very close to getting those 20 and wanted to stay on the pitch, which I think is always nice to hear. Moving to De Bruyne, of course, that one assist away, got the assist for the Laport goal, and it was a lovely ball in, and a goal that seemed to mean a lot to Laport, Caroline. He celebrated it quite well, but a good goal.
Yeah, really nice goal. It was a great ball in again from Kevin, and he's obviously known for his set piece delivery. So yeah, it was a good finish as well, and he'll be happy to get on the score sheet.
We were talking a bit about heading the ball here in the studio, but there's a real art to it, isn't there, Jill?
Yeah, I was saying that I think tall players, especially when you're younger, they just expect you to be good at heading the ball, so you just get put in these heading positions. And I was saying I can definitely improve on that side of my game. But yeah, it was a great header. I think the ball did make it, to be honest, the quality on the ball. But yeah, I think sometimes we need to teach taller kids exactly how to head the ball, because it is an art. It's a big part of the game, and it is a high technical skill.
There was one man actually that just had the goal disallowed, but Jesus seems to have got heading down to a fine art. He really is a very powerful header of the ball. Let's move to the other side of the pitch, and I'm always the first to talk about when that looping ball comes in over the back and us conceding those chances when you wish we hadn't. But another clean sheet brings Ederson closer to that golden glove. He kind of does obviously offer what he does with being that 11th man on the pitch, but also actually to be in contention for a golden glove is a really big feat, and I think we kind of forget that a little bit with City, Jill.
Yeah, I think what was important tonight was he's not involved in the game for large spells, so concentration, he's got to stay switched on. I think it was a one-on-one with Welbeck where he's just come out and he's so strong, and he's definitely someone that I wouldn't want to be running towards with the ball. I'd be like, you just have it, it's fine.
No.
But yeah, a great keeper, and when you talk about the goals at one end, it's so important that you stop them at the other, and he's a massive part of that.
The other thing I wanted to mention was Cancelo. Of course, you gave us that stat there, but he was put in at left back, and actually, I mean, the stats said it there, but it felt like it was a really accomplished performance, and we in particular enjoyed some few moments when we were watching him.
Yeah, we were saying, weren't we, throughout the game, he had some nice little bits of skill, and I think it just shows the quality of him to come in at left back, which I'm sure naturally is not his favourite position as being a right footer. But yeah, he looked very comfortable, and going forward especially, I thought he was really good, creating chances and taking players on. So yeah, I thought it was a really positive performance from him.
And he probably gives Pep a headache for the weekend, and then obviously the Real Madrid coming up as well with them. Like such a brilliant performance, and we kept commenting on it here in the studio. What do you think's going through Pep's mind now, Jill? Do you think he's thinking yes, or going to go back to the kind of Mendy, who obviously we know Pep is a big Mendy fan?
I think these games have given him an opportunity to play different players, and then for them players it's a chance to fight for the shirt, really. So I think he's probably not thinking about it straight away, but yeah, it'll have given him a headache, but it's a good headache to have players in form, good competition for places, and I'm sure we'll look at training over the next couple of weeks and decide on the best team to take on Real Madrid.
Well, the man who has got that headache is Pep Guardiola, and we can hear what he had to say at the full-time whistle.
Pep, was that precisely the performance you were looking for after the weekend?
Well, competitions are different. Of course, they were playing for a big issue, and yeah, we were a little more aggressive in all senses today.
You started both halves of this game with real purpose. What was your message to your players?
No, I said to you before, so be ourselves. You can play better or worse, but there is a minimum from desire for passion that we have to show, and we show it today.
Raheem Sterling didn't look too delighted when he came off, having scored 2 goals, but with those 2 goals, which takes him on to 19 in the Premier League, was it very much a case of job done today?
Yeah, of course, for our strikers and wingers, score goal is so important, and he did it, and make a good season in terms of results. But we are far away from the champion, so at the end the competition or our performance when analysed as a team was not good enough.
Well, on the subject of scoring goals, how rewarding was it for you as his head coach that Aymeric Laport scored today, given the season he's had to endure?
Laport, we had a tough injury. It's an important player for us and was a lot of time out. And he's a big guy and needs a little bit more time to regain his physical condition. But today was one of the best games he has played in the last month.
The Champions League, of course, is your focus now, and everything now is in preparation for that. How does a performance like tonight's help to stand you in good stead?
It's just to avoid the game we played in Arsenal, especially in the first half. That is where you have to pay attention. The rest, you can win, you can lose. The opponents always count. But the minimum of going at the end of the game in the locker room and said, okay, I've done everything. This is always must happen in the big clubs, and the first half last game we didn't do it.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. BBC.
Just the reaction I'm sure Pep was looking for. That was him giving us his thoughts at the full-time whistle at Vicarage Road. Of course, we are building up to that quarter-final game, and he's talked about finding rhythm. I was just interested to know what you both think, because we have the final game coming up against Norwich at the weekend, and then there's almost a week and a half, 2 weeks before that game against Madrid. Would you prefer to have games in between that to keep the momentum, or is a 2-week training period actually a wonderful thing for the players? Begin with you, Jill.
I think I would probably prefer to be playing, just to keep that momentum going. I suppose a positive of looking at the training time is that you can get a lot of the technical work in, tactical work as well. So, yeah, but I think I would prefer to be playing. We love playing, don't we? When you've got them 3 games in a week, I think them are the weeks that you look forward to the most.
That's so interesting, because the media seems to that kind of create the narrative of going, is it too much, the fatigue and the tiredness? But then I guess for the players, actually, no, you're the ones that know, and the games are actually, I guess, better for you then.
Yeah, I would say so. I think maybe under the circumstances, because they came back and have had a lot of games in a short space of time, maybe they'll feel differently and want a few days off. But as players, I know I would want to keep playing and just get to kind of the end, the last game. Hopefully it's going to be, for them, the Champions League final or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think when you've got momentum, you just want to keep going with that.
That gives me real hope as well for some of the teams in Europe who are not playing now, for sort of the French teams and the German teams who have not played for a while now, going into the Champions League, perhaps with us with a shorter break. Do you think that might give us a bit of an advantage, Jill?
Yeah, I think so, because we've had rhythm, haven't we, playing these games. So I think if you do have a long break like that, coming back, I don't think you find your flow, especially when you're a team that likes to possess the ball as well. I think you always play better when you get into a rhythm of game after game after game. So, yeah, that would be my preference anyway.
It's been such a pleasure to have you both on the show. So, I mean, of course, we've got your season just around the corner. Do we know when it's starting? Is it just towards the beginning of September, Caroline?
Yeah, I think it's the 5th of September is the opening dates for the league.
So we'll have a guess. I mean, kind of, you're in training now, a few pre-season games, and then hit the ground running. How you feel? Are you apprehensive, nervous, or kind of are you just itching to get back out on the pitch?
I mean, I'm itching to play a game of football. I think it's great to be back in training, and we're loving being back and being around the team and things like that. But of course, we want to be playing games. So whether that's pre-season friendlies to begin with, and then hopefully the league as it's planned. So yeah, it's great to be back, and we can't wait to start playing matches.
Same, I guess, for you as well, Jill.
Yeah, exactly. We've got fitness testing tomorrow, so we'll better leave soon anyway.
Well, it has been such a pleasure. Just wanted to say thank you so much for your time, and from us here at We're Not Really Here in the club, we just wish you all the luck for the season, and we'll be championing you and rooting for you to carry on all the amazing success you've had. So thank you. And it's been brilliant. I've just really enjoyed the chat. I think you're brilliant role models and kind of great ambassadors for the club and the game. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Natalie, thank you so much as always, and thank you to you beautiful people at home. We're Not Really Here. We are going to be back with you for the weekend, of course. Our final Premier League game against Norwich. That does also mean the final Premier League game for the magician, Merlin, David Silva. We'll just take a moment, don't worry. We might see him as well in the Madrid game, which is coming up at the beginning of August. Remember, you can also watch the game in its entirety from midnight on City Plus. The full 90 minutes, you can enjoy the 4 goals and see everything that we've been talking about on there. We do that for every game, so do go and enjoy that. And we'll be back at the weekend. Until then, enjoy your evening. Massive thank you again, guys. Have a good one. See you soon.
O que mais te chamou a atenção no novo protocolo de jogo?
Não ter torcida.
In lockdown, I was 100% sure we're going to play without fans. yesterday. He's like, oh, it's a good goal. It's like, yay. That's the only thing you hear. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. Let's just go on with it.
The fans are the biggest part of it. City's about all the lads there and going there with your mate. And it's a gathering of friends and brothers, if you like, you know.
It does feel odd to have my little house being beamed across the world and stuff like that, and then to have Pep coming into my living room and having a chat with him, but that's how it is now, isn't it?
It's something we don't want to really get used to, but at the moment it looks like you have to.
You know, when you are in dressing room, we are all close, we talk, we laughing. This changed a lot.
I think nobody has a choice. You know, what can the club or the players do?
Go on. The minute they open the turnstile, I'm through it. Squeezing through, of course.